So hello and welcome to the Celebrity Edge. This was the first in a new class of ships for Celebrity, helpfully called the Edge class. The last 4 ships ordered by Celebrity have all been Edge class ships, so they obviously consider this style of ship to be the future of their brand. But was it any good? I wanted to talk about the 6 main things I think make Edge class ships different, but I also wanted to show what a day on board the Edge might look like. So in this video I will fuse those 2 ideas. A day in the life of the Celebrity Edge and 6 ways in which that day may feel different from other ships. If that sounds good, stick around. Hi, I'm Matt and I love cruising. I love the ships, the places you visit, the entertainment, and every now and again I'll also enjoy a drink. So subscribe to the channel so you can come with me on my next cruise. So, your day will probably start with you waking up in your cabin. And we're quickly into difference number 1, which is the balcony. Or is that the window? The edge of the Edge is mostly made up of infinity verandas, as they call them. There are some traditional balconies for suite guests, but everyone else gets a window. I could probably make a 10-minute video just about this point, but the idea is to extend the cabin when the window is shut, but to still offer a balcony experience when the window is open. I spent a lot of time trying to decide how to communicate my opinion of this feature, and I've concluded that it's a window, and when it's open, it feels like you're sitting by an open window. You're not sitting on a balcony. Plus, the overlapping bit of the 2 windows when they're open is really thick and is right at your eye lines, so it actually gets in the way of the view in a way that a traditional balcony doesn't. It does make the cabin feel bigger when the window is shut and the blind is down, but it just doesn't feel like you have a balcony. I have a belief that if you do something that no one else is doing, you're either a genius or an idiot. And if you're a genius, others will quickly start to copy you. Well, no other cruise line has copied the Edge's design in the 5+ years since it was revealed, so I think you can conclude that the other cruise lines aren't entirely convinced about the concept either. So, breakfast. Most will choose the buffet, which is spacious and airy, no low ceilings or hidden rooms unlike some other ships I've recently been on. The main dining room will be another option if you prefer a more leisurely menu-based experience, and room service will allow you to eat by your window in your cabin if you happen to like that feature. Then to the pool, and difference number 2. The pool itself is great, large with a very large shelf area around it, which allows you to keep cool in the pool without actually getting into the pool. But the area around the pool perplexed me. It felt like an area designed by a committee where no one on the committee had ever actually seen a pool area before. I had 3 main criticisms. Firstly, there's no shade. This walkway will occasionally throw a narrow strip of shade, otherwise you're in the direct sun, which I don't much love, and I don't think is particularly responsible on the part of the designers. A few areas of the pool deck were undercover, but they were somewhat distanced from the pool and they were tucked away, so you didn't really feel part of any activity taking place. You can find shade in the solarium, which was a very pleasant alternative to sitting outside once your nose had acclimatised to the smell of chlorine. But if the weather is nice, you want to be outside, and I find it odd that shade lovers aren't accommodated. We docked next to the Celebrity Summit in one port, which is designed with another deck above the pool, which casts quite a lot of shade, and I very much prefer that design. The second thing I found odd was the hot tubs. There were 2 outside, plus 1 in the solarium. The 2 outside ones were quite attractively designed to look like wine glasses, but the problem was actually getting to them. To get to this one, you needed to go upstairs here, then up another flight back there, then across to get in. To get to this one, you needed to go up these stairs, walk through the smoking area, then go up some more stairs, then go back around the superstructure to get to the hot tub. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the hot tubs weren't that busy. You might think you'd be able to go up here to get to the hot tub, but no, it's just a closed-in seating area, and this is design issue number 3. The band and DJ perform from here, behind the pillar supporting the hot tub, so you couldn't really see them. Several times people struggled to tell where the music they could hear was actually coming from. The entertainment was good, but it was strange that the performers were hidden, so you couldn't really see them from most of the pool area. So I liked the pool itself, but the surroundings were a bit odd. The pool area looked great after dark though, which did make me wonder whether the committee that designed it gave its nocturnal Instagrammability a higher priority than the daytime user experience. So lunchtime. The buffet is a popular option, as is the main dining room, and some of the speciality dining venues will be an option on sea days. The Mast Grill offers burgers and hot dogs and is very convenient if you're settled in by the pool. The Spa Cafe and the Solarium offer lighter options. You could also get a soup or sandwich from the Eden Cafe towards the stern of the ship. While I'm talking about it, the Eden complex is a very pleasant area spread across multiple decks at the rear of the ship. As well as a cafe, there's a bar, a speciality dining venue with a very experimental menu, and a performance area where some extremely talented musicians rotated through performances through the evening. I liked how Celebrity has used this space, although the main access route through this art installation of scary trees may not be to everyone's taste. Celebrity has spent some time and money on art and on the general styling of the ship, and after lunch perhaps you can spend some of the afternoon enjoying the public spaces. I particularly liked this piece. Or perhaps do some shopping, although some of the brands on board suggest that my spending priorities may not be typical of other guests on board. Of course, there is also an art gallery, no cruise ship seems to be complete without one, and a gym. I'm no gym expert, as anyone who's ever met me will attest, but the edges looked pretty well equipped. Perhaps spend some time enjoying the magic carpet. This is item number 3 on my list and is unique to the Edge class of ships. It's a cantilevered platform on the edge of the ship. See what they did there? It can be raised and lowered the full height of the ship. Celebrity's Bump says that it has multiple uses, although it was only ever used as a bar adjacent to the pool on our cruise. It can also serve as a restaurant, although I think the low occupancy on our cruise meant it wasn't operating that way for us. It also forms an extended area for loading tenders when the ship is in a port where it is not able to dock. None of our ports were tender ports, but I can see that this might be a very helpful addition to the tendering process, which can be a right pain. I would say though that the Edge did already have the smartest boarding area of any ship I've ever been on. So the magic carpet is an interesting feature, but it felt a little gimmicky to me, and I didn't feel it added anything to the experience, although I will acknowledge that I didn't see the full breadth of its functionality. Time for a drink as the evening comes round, and here's item 4 on my list. The Celebrity Silhouette, which I cruised on in the summer, offered 12 bars where you could get a drink, in addition to the restaurant and the theatre, which offered a bar service. The Celebrity Edge, which is a bigger ship with more passengers, has just 5. Specifically the pool bar, the Eden bar, the casino bar, the club and the Martini bar. That increases to 6 if you include the magic carpet, although it's a very small area, it isn't always configured as a bar. This is obviously a conscious design decision from Celebrity, and I'm really not sure what they are trying to communicate. Most likely, they are communicating that they don't believe that drinking should be their guests' priority. Alternatively, now that Celebrity includes a drinks package in all of its fares, making the process of getting a drink harder means they'll disperse fewer drinks, which will save them money. Each of the 5 bars the ship does have are pretty good, but there are large areas of the ship where, quite frankly, you are a long way from anywhere that you can get a drink. And when the ship is full, it could be quite hard to get a drink even if you were in one of the bars. Venues were occasionally full to bursting on our cruise, which sailed at 1/3 capacity. Similar to the retail brands on board, the bars offered quite a sophisticated experience with nothing resembling a pub available. The Martini bar though does not have the frozen surface you'll find on other Celebrity ships, which I kind of missed, but the bar team did offer a quite spectacular flair bartending show several times a night. Prior to boarding, I'd noticed this dramatic reduction in bar count and hoped it wouldn't impact on my enjoyment of the cruise. But unfortunately, it did. So I concluded that whilst offering 12 bars on a 3,000 capacity ship may well be too many, having 5 is definitely too few. So dinner time, and you have a number of specialty restaurants to choose from, available for an additional payment, plus the main dining room. Or should I say, main dining rooms, as item 5 on my list is the separation of the main dining room into 4 separate offerings. As ships have gotten bigger, the main dining rooms have needed to also get bigger, to the point where you end up with a venue the size of a convention centre if you try and fit everyone into the same room. I travelled on the Anthem of the Seas this summer, which is quite a lot bigger than the Edge, and that ship has split its main dining area into 4 individually themed spaces, although they all still offered the same menu. The Edge takes this a step further by having 4 themed restaurants, but with different menus. There were half a dozen menu items each night that were available across all venues, but each also had a variety of starters and main courses unique to that venue and in keeping with that venue's theme. I found that this really enlivened the dining experience, as you could move between the 4 venues and have a substantially different dining experience in each. Speciality dining options include the Eden restaurant, which as I mentioned was quite experimental, but there's also a steakhouse, a barbecue joint, a sushi concept and a French concept that was also open for lunch. I found the foods to often be quite ambitious, but that the execution did occasionally fall short. Open flames are not allowed on a ship, so cooking a steak to perfection on just a hot plate can be difficult. Most ships succeed, but the Edge didn't, which is disappointing in a steakhouse which presents itself and prices itself alongside premium restaurants on land. Eating this was not an enjoyable experience. That juice should have been in the steak, not on the plate's guttering system. After dinner, time for some entertainment. The performers in the Eden Bar were excellent, but you have 2 more major entertainment venues aboard, in addition to having musicians pop up in other locations. The first is the Club, which is a multi-level entertainment venue with one of the 5 bars I mentioned earlier. This hosted karaoke, quizzes, game shows, and even hosted a very enjoyable production show on one occasion. The main venue though is the theatre, and this is point 6 on my list. The stage is effectively in the round, which brings the performance closer to the audience, but which limits the staging opportunities. The backdrop was effective in creating an atmosphere, but that style of auditorium offers less variety than the traditional configuration would, with curtains, wings, movable sets and so on. The entertainment itself was of a high quality, and it perhaps needed to be, as the performers had less support from the infrastructure they were performing in. I said in last week's video that the entertainment overall was not completely to my taste, as it featured ballet and quite a lot of jazzy singing, but this is another excuse to show a clip of almost Elton John, who is possibly my favourite performer from any ship I've been on. And finally, late night entertainment can be found in the casino. I have to applaud the innovation that has gone into the Celebrity Edge. Cruise ships can be hard to differentiate, and the innovations on the Edge and its sister ships mean that they do stand out. My problem is that of the 6 differentiators I've talked about, I only love one of them, which was the reinvention of the main dining experience. 2 are kind of meh, the magic carpet and the theatre, and 3 of them are actually quite annoying. The infinite veranda / cabin window, the un-user friendliness of the pool, and the paucity of bars, which can make it quite difficult to get a drink. I had a great time on the Edge, and don't worry, I still managed to have plenty to drink, but I didn't love it. And when I pick my next celebrity cruise, I have a feeling I'll be avoiding their Edge-class ships. I just prefer the older designs. So thanks for watching. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it or got something from it. Please subscribe if you're new and leave me a comment. Would you travel on an Edge class ship? So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.